Hari Om. The ninth verse that we did, we are studying the second topic where he talks about how Brahman is the microcosm. The first topic spoke about the Brahman, the macrocosm. The microcosm, which is a totality, the microcosm, which is the world, both are perishable in nature. We saw it transcends, it comes down from the macro level to the micro level. He says, a portion of myself, in the seventh verse, he said, a portion of myself, having become a being in the living world, just like we said, the sunlight is all pervading. When a ray of light reflects in a single piece of glass, it gains the qualities or attributes of the reflecting medium. The sun's light is all pervading. The sun's light is colorless. But when that same all pervading colorless light reflects in a reflecting medium, it takes the qualities and attributes of the reflecting medium. In a blue glass, the sun appears blue. In a red glass, it appears red. In a small glass, it appears small. In a large reflecting medium, there's a splash of light. All the attributes and qualities belong to the reflecting medium, not the sun. The sun has no attribute. The sun is all pervading. Its rays are all pervading. It is attributeless. So the Brahman from the macrocosm has come to the individual, and it takes the qualities of the reflecting medium. The reflecting medium is the individual vasanas. Each one of us are different because of the Atman expressing through the individual vasanas. So Atman plus vasanas is a living being. That was said in the seventh verse. In the eighth verse, he continues. He talks about when the transference happens, when the Atman apparently leaves. It is not the Atman leaving. When the vasanas leave the body, it carries with it the mind and intellect. Just like the wind that carries the scent. The wind has no fragrance, but wind carries the fragrance from one place to other. Similarly, in the medium of Atman, these vasanas is just a mass transference of vasanas going on. Imagine, I don't know if you were to Google and find out how many people are dying every single moment in a day. How many people die? I don't know. The number could be perhaps staggering. How many people are being born every day? So all of this is happening every moment. There's death and birth happening. What is happening? Death and birth is all a play of the vasanas. So a certain bundle of vasanas are leaving, a certain bundle of vasanas are being born. And all of this is happening in the space of the all-pervading Atman. Right. In the ninth verse, he said, presiding over the eye, ear, skin, tongue, and nose, and also the mind. Presiding Atman, presiding over the five senses, and the mind. Mind is the lord of the senses. This being enjoys the objects of the senses. As we always have maintained, Atman is neutral. When you say Atman is neutral, is like a car. Imagine if you are even in an auto car you drive or a manual car, there's a neutral gear. When you put a neutral gear, there's nothing that happens to the vehicle. Any amount of action you try to do, nothing happens. So Atman is a neutral stance to what? Atman is neutral to what? Atman is neutral to your actions. Atman is neutral to the fruits of your actions. Atman does not perform karma. Atman does not act, nor is Atman responsible for the fruits of your actions. It is in a neutral gear. It is not interested. It has nothing to do with it. It seems to be the enjoyer, but doesn't enjoy. So Atman is not the doer. Atman is not the enjoyer. But when Atman functions through the individual, the Atman becomes the Jiva. Atman, I repeat, Atman does not perform actions. Atman does not enjoy the fruits of actions. But when Atman operates through the individual, it becomes a Jiva. So the Jiva is the ego. It is the Jiva that has the qualities of kartrutva and bhoktrutva. The doership attitude and the enjoyership attitude belongs to the Jiva, not the Atman. Atman, it just presides over it. When Atman functions, when Atman enables, all these senses in the mind operate. They get vitality because of Atman presiding over it. It's like the chairman of a board or the president of a country, or who do you have this in this our Rajya Sabha, or the speaker. The speaker takes his seat in the upper house or the lower house. In his absence, there is no proceedings that happens. Only when he presides, the meetings happen and they are recorded, and they become whatever debates, whatever arguments, whatever decisions happen. It happens in the presence of the speaker. In his absence, nothing happens. You can go and talk whatever it is. Nothing is recorded. Nothing is accepted. Nothing happens. So in its presence, it presides over every transaction. As I've said, this verse is a very simple, seemingly innocuous statement, but it makes a very powerful statement here, a very powerful point. You must look at it as a theorem. In mathematics, there are various theorems that you have. And if you take a note of this concept as a theorem, it will stick with you and will help you solve many problems in philosophy. It will help you understand various concepts. So what is the theorem that we said? I think we did mention it last week. What is the theorem that we said with reference to this verse? Very deep theorem. And you draw it from these verses. The next verse also, I'm not wrong, it talks of it. The theorem that we said is Atman does not perceive. Okay, we shared something, right? Last week. Let me represent that so that we can quickly refresh our understanding before we move on. This is what we said. The Atman presides over the body, mind, intellect, which is the individual. When the Atman operates through your organs of perception, organs of action, your mind, intellect, either be it gross or subtle, you become the perceiver, actor, feeler, thinker, contemplator. You're either perceiving or acting, you're either feeling or thinking, and in moments like these, in these kind of philosophical classrooms, you are awakening your subtle, sukshma buddhi, which is your subtle intellect, which enables you to conceive or contemplate. So the first point, the theorem, as I'm saying, without Atman, one cannot perceive, act, feel, think, or contemplate. Second point, yet Atman does not perceive, Atman does not feel, nor act, nor think, nor contemplate. The third point, Atman has got nothing to do with all that you perceive, all the actions you perform, anything that you do, Atman has got nothing to do with it. This is the profound theorem that you must have in trying to paint a picture of the Atman or the God within you. This is what he's saying. Presiding over, it seems to be enjoying, but Atman does not enjoy. Atman does not act. It is the enabler. That's all. It has no interest in enabling also. It just is. In its presence, everything bristles, everything happens. Yesterday we were at a concert where the ex-president was the chief guest. Everything was set. A beautiful event, a Carnatic concert. The stage was decked up. If they had put any more flowers, there would not be no flowers in the city. To that extent, the stage was set with flowers. We did not know it was a floral exhibition or it's a concert. Then we understood who is coming. Some big fellow, some big personality is coming. So the ex-president was invited and everything was set to perfection. The lighting system, the mic system, the audience were settled in. And as usual, the event which was supposed to start at 6:30 started at 7:30. Why? That the person, the Lord who's supposed to preside over the event did not, or maybe he came a little late and the formalities and whatnot did not take place in time. That's why we call IST is Indian stretchable time. Very happily, comfortably, graciously, shamelessly we stretch. I'm sorry to say shamelessly because I need to be mindful what I'm saying. I'm not insulting anybody. That the concept of being punctual doesn't exist in this country. And I remember I don't keep, there's no attachment or or fanaticism to my guru. I don't impose my guru onto you, but the teaching certainly has transformed me. And he used to tell this. If you are not having these two qualities, you are unfit for spirituality, he used to say. And that I'm not quoting that here, please. I'm not intending anything anywhere. Please don't get me wrong. I just reminded of this. The two qualities to say cleanliness and punctuality. If these two qualities are not there in you, you're unfit to be spiritual. And how he used to tell, I'm sorry to again get dragged into that quality. How he used to say is you go to ashrams, you go to spiritual places, you find people are hanging their towels, their linen, their clothes, their innerwear, everything is hanging in the balconies. And it is purview, it is seen to everybody who walks into that facility. It is the most jarring thing. I don't know whether you find it jarring. And balconies are not something which is placed at the back of the building. It is placed in the front of the building because you get that view. And imagine when somebody walks in, all they see is all your linen hanging. Not one room, 100 rooms. People are hanging their things. I tell you, it is one of the most jarring things. And he used to tell when he constructed the ashram, the boys' hostel, where that was the first building. So the girls used to stay on the first floor, the boys used to stay on the ground floor. 4 different wings, 2 top, 2 down. And used to say he did not have funds to put up that building. And yet one of the biggest rooms in that building was 4 rooms he had to build. You know what were the 4 biggest rooms? Srinivas Reddy Garu will know because you are a man of construction, no? concrete structures. 4 big rooms he had to build, and what they were is drying rooms. Each wing had a drying room, and the top floor had a 2-tier drying room because of the design, 2-tier drying room, and 3 to 4 rooms could have fitted into each drying room. And the cost of it was so much, he said, I had to make that decision. Because he used to say when he was with Chinmaya Mission and how he could see these glaring things. Imagine 100 people coming in, and when events happen, there's much more people. Everybody hanging their clothes everywhere. It's like a laundry place, not a spiritual place. This concept doesn't exist. And yet we are very spiritual. The fundamentals of spirituality is cleanliness and punctuality. It doesn't exist in our country. Very sorry to say.
That's true.
Very sorry, sir. Isn't it? Unless until this is conscious, we talk of conscious of, we talk of perfection, purification, self-purification, self-development. Those imperfections has to be seen.
And that too, it starts from the politicians, of course, not that to blame.
Starts with, sorry?
From the politicians on the punctuality as concerned.
I am not taking a dig at them, sorry to say that, but it just happens so. But what I was trying to drive home is everything took off only when the man who was supposed to preside over the evening did his job of his speech, of lighting the lamp, of giving the mementos. And that's when perhaps the main singers who were desperately waiting for over an hour to perform, they had to kept in abeyance. They had to gracefully smiling. They better not grumble. But I want to trying to tell you, the Lord presides over everything, and after 2 songs, the Lord walks away. The real music was not understood. The real music was not appreciated. But yet nothing happened without the presiding person. I'm only giving you the power of the presiding person. So the Brahman is that which presides over everything. The rest of the audience were mesmerized by the real beauty these great singers brought out. Amazing, amazing. But yet I'm trying to tell you, giving you a picture. Yes, sir. SR Garu, you had to say something?
Sorry to use a very harsh word, Guruji.
Please, sir, please don't use sir. Sorry to say, I'm sorry. Please requesting not to say.
System, Guruji. Nothing to do anything. It's a known fact. Everyone is going through. In fact, this sort of a
I'm afraid, Srinivas garu, my voice could do a low undandi maaku. I don't know. Is it for everybody the same? I don't know.
It's very low.
Very low, yeah.
Where it is it clear? It's better?
Much. Slightly better. Yes, sir.
In fact, calling these VIPs for the functions like this, I think is the most of the disturbing factor, Guruji. And the rituals takes predominant, and the focus on the purpose has been lost. And the organizers are always focused on how to receive, how to handle, how to take care of so-called VIP. For me, VIP is redefined as the vultures in power. So
I never heard this. Vultures in power. Okay.
So it distracts the whole thing, and particularly any entertainment program, fine, but in programs like this, any spiritual programs, it's more of a distraction, and they add no value. They add no value except giving in a social value, saying that some VIP visited the program, nothing else.
But the person had a great charm about himself. He was a man of great stature. He was a man of wisdom. His words were much appreciated. Nothing to, and we are not here to tarnish or demean, because it's unbecoming on us to do so, to anybody for that matter, and especially a man of any stature. But he's just trying to, I get your point, because it loses its significance,
Yes.
It loses focus as well. But the point I want to drive home is presiding deity, that which presides over, lords over, commands over. But perhaps has got nothing to do with what happened there that day. That kind of an attitude, Atman, the Lord, Brahman, takes to every action that you perform and every fruit of action that you enjoy. Atman has got nothing to do with it. And this is a very important thumb rule and a principle we got to maintain. Maybe you can create another logbook in your notes, theorems of Vedanta, and keep adding one after the other. And you will have a quick reference to all these fundamental theorems, which are the foundation of any Vedantic concept. Vedanta is built on these concepts. And when you have these concepts, believe me, you will not go wrong in your calculations or understandings. Always fall back, a quick reference to these theorems. Okay. We'll move on after hearing from Sureshji. Don't worry, Sureshji. We'll hear you.
Yeah. Guruji, I only want to mention that any change, a change which is required, that change will happen only when it is top down. So change has to be top down, awareness will come bottom up. And for this, the example I will give is our own Wisdom Institute. Now, when we come for the satsang to the Wisdom Institute, the footwear.
Sir, please say good things, sir, about Wisdom Institute.
No, kindly hear me. You see, when you enter the Wisdom Institute, you know the greenery on the left-hand side, the cleanliness of the pathway, the way the footwears are arranged neatly, and then when you enter the premises, you know, your study room or the dining area, it is so spick and span. I think what your Guru has exemplified in action, you are also translating that today, which is why I say change has to happen top down. Then awareness will come bottom up. And same thing applies to your yesterday's function. See, the luminary may be, you know, an embodiment of a scholarship. But then if he is not punctual, that luster certainly diminishes. And therefore, you know, these things are, one must be fortunate enough, particularly in a country like ours, where, you know, you have a huge population and awareness levels are so low. It is incumbent on the leadership of every institution as well as government that change which is required should be top down so that awareness comes bottom up.
Oh, very well said, sir. Very well said. Only correction to your remark is you said when you walk in, there's green on the left, there's little green on the right also, sir.
Absolutely. But, you know, your eyes inevitably turn to the left and then you see straight away the footwear which is arranged so neatly. And then, you know, everything, a place for everything and everything in its place. And I think that rubs off on the participants. And I must also mention in this context, when we had that concert by that boy, you know, on the occasion of my father's anniversary.
Don't mention names, sir.
No names at all. When we had that concert, what I want to point out is how you were hands-on. I still remember, I cannot forget. You see, that dari had to be put with a white, beautiful cloth, neatly ironed. You personally laid out that cloth, tucked it in the corners, and so on. You know, that is why I think somebody said, trifles make perfection, and perfection is no trifle.
Well said, sir. And thank you. Now, I just want to draw attention to what Sureshji was mentioning. Some of you may not be aware. There was an event that happened a couple of months ago, and I take it a passion to bring perfection in my work. The stage was to be set for the musicians. A carpet was laid, mics were being set, the wires being connected, and a small and a white cloth is just to cover the carpet. And I remember Setuji and Sureshji were there in the auditorium that morning. The function was at evening, and I think it was Gayatri Ma. I don't know whether you were there on stage, but she's always there helping out. It was me and Vijaya and Gayatri Ma. We were there on the stage trying to tuck the cloth with to make it presentable and neat. He's referring to that attention to detail. And it's not getting paranoia about it, but It is just being mindful of what we are talking of, bringing dexterity to action. And I go to concerts with singers performing on stage, you see more wires hanging, wires everywhere. First thing is that the participants and people on the dais may themselves trip. So next time when you come to the institute, watch the wire on the stage. You see how the wire was the wire from the speaker was taped, permanently taped and kept. Literally, it's me and the caretaker that day. We had to make sure, I said, pull the wire as straight as possible without pulling it hard, and make sure the tape is kept precisely, as if somebody is going to give you a point for that execution. You're not going to be, nobody is going to see, nobody's going to notice. And he is talking of something he noticed 2 months back and he's talking, because he and Setuji were sitting and talking in the hall, and we were attending to the detail. It's not to impress anybody. I'm only trying to tell you, Vedanta is about being conscious of imperfections. And believe me, we are surrounded by imperfections all around us. Are you conscious of it? If you are conscious of it, the first step of perfection is to notice imperfections. There's nothing called 100% perfection. Notice imperfections. And it starts with external imperfections, and then you go to your internal imperfections. As a physical body, am I fit? Am I perfect? Mentally, am I perfect? Intellectually, am I perfect? Spiritually, am I perfect? That is how you progress. The mala, the dirt, cannot be accepted. It has to be cleansed. And so on. So, don't worry, we're not lost our focus. Coming back to the Atman. Atman is the presiding deity. It is presides over the senses and the mind and all activities. It is neutral. It is not the doer. It is not the enjoyer. It enables everything, has no interest in anything. Important theorem. Take note. And we'll move on to verse 10, please. Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudhananupashyanti pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudhananupashyanti pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. This being, obviously referring to the Atman, the self, that which presides, departing or dwelling or enjoying, united with the gunas, the deluded do not perceive. Those with the eye of wisdom perceive. You can easily mistake this being to, when he says departing, dwelling, and enjoying, to the individual, but it is not the individual. It seems to be. Please get this concept. Atman, this is where people misinterpret. Atman seems to be departing. Atman seems to be dwelling. Atman seems to be enjoying. We already clarified Atman doesn't depart, nor Atman enjoy. Atman has got nothing to do with it. United with the gunas. What did we say earlier? The Atman plus the Jiva equals living beings. Life. Atman plus matter equals life. So each one of us, you and I, are nothing but Atman plus my gunas, right? My sattva, rajas and tamas. Keshav Reddy Garu has very high sattva. So Keshavji, what he is because of his gunas. Atman in him has no interest in his sattva guna. I am saying the truth, Keshav Reddy Garu. It is your sadhana and tapas that you have enhanced, you have worked on your spiritual upliftment. It is your sattva guna. It is your gunas. So the jiva, the individual that you are, it's because of your sadhana and tapas. Isn't it, sir?
Thank you, Guruji. Still, I have not reached this. The stage where I should. I'm not happy the way I am, where I am. I'm trying my best.
This is a typical attitude of a sadhak that I need to go, I need to grow, I need to grow. There's so much to learn. Indeed, it is important to be a student, and very, very. Those of you who meet him, you will not to make you uncomfortable. I'm just saying, sir. Thank you. So it's the gunas in us, the sattva, rajas, tamas, which are the conditioning element. The deluded do not perceive. What is it the deluded do not perceive? The deluded do not perceive that Atman is got nothing to do with this. Only the wise with the eye of wisdom see. What do they see? They see that Atman is not departing, Atman is not enjoying. The vimudha, the two words used in the verse, vimudha is the deluded, jnana chakshu is the one with the eye of wisdom. So two extreme opposites. So the deluded fellow, he attributes as if the Atman is departing, Atman is dwelling, Atman is enjoying. Just like the water in a child thinks the water in a blue container, thinks the water is blue, but water is not blue, it appears blue. The saintly actions of a saint or the sinful actions of a sinner, Atman has got nothing to do with that. But the fool attributes qualities to the Atman. A man of wisdom does not. What is it that departs? The Atman does not depart at death. It is the subtle body and the causal body that departs at death. The fools think the soul has left. So everybody gathers a misconception that some light leaves the body and they attribute to Atman. Atman does not move. And all this confusion arises because the attention is on the world. When the attention is on the world, the self is out of focus. When the attention is on the self, the world is out of focus. We understand the simple concept. I repeat, when the attention, all the delusion, when he says because the deluded vimudha don't see it, why are they deluded? Because they're not able to see, because where is the attention? When the attention is on the world, you don't see the self. When the attention is on the self, the world is out of focus. Simple example, I put this finger in front of me. When I see this finger, you're all out of focus. It's all blurred. The moment I shift my focus onto you, the finger right in front of me is blurred. So the wise focus on the self. So they have clarity of what the self is doing. The fools focus on the worldly things. They focus on the gunas. So the self is out of focus. So the question is, where is your focus? Are you focusing on the gunas or are you focusing on the Atman? And they are so close that you're not able to separate them. What is close? Atman plus gunas equals an individual. So when I look at you, I have to focus on the gunas or I have to focus on the Atman. I am focusing on the gunas because of my ignorance and delusion. But a man of wisdom separates the gunas and the Atman and says Atman has got nothing to do with the gunas, the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. So shift your focus onto the Atman. You know its true character, you know its true nature. But the deluded fellow, they don't understand. They attribute it. The gunas are dwelling, the gunas are departing. The individual with the gunas are enjoying. The Atman doesn't enjoy. Atman is not the doer. Atman is not the enjoyer. So please don't thank God for what is happening. Now blame God for what is happening. Don't ever ask the question, why me? God has got nothing to do. He did not choreograph your life, nor did he set your life to be predestined or predetermined by anything. Nothing does. No, we are ever thankful in a spirit of gratitude to providence. When you say, I bow down to the Lord, when you go to a temple, you would, without any hesitation, you will do Shashtanga Namaskar. Without any ego, you will fall at the feet of the wise. That does not mean you are thanking or blaming God for what is happening. It is an attitude that you have of being grateful for what is given. But you understand whatever is happening, it is because of the individual action. I am responsible for what I am in my life. Let me take accountability of my actions. Don't just push it to some unknown factor and think that is molding. Atman has no role. Hmm. 11th verse, please. यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्यात्मन्यवस्थितम् यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानः नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितम् यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानः नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः. The yogis who strive, behold this, T is in capital intentionally. Behold, this refers to the Atman dwelling in the self. The self is small s. So those who strive, behold the Atman dwelling in the little individual, the ego, the unrefined and unintelligent, even though striving, do not perceive this. So it has to be rightly interpreted, please. These words have to be interpreted. If you don't interpret, you get a misunderstanding, or you don't understand the depth of the verse. If you noted, he said that the unrefined and the unintelligent, akritatmanaha achetasaha. Achetasaha means the unintelligent, akritatmanaha means the unrefined. So he's talking of these people, and what does he say of them? What is the qualification he gives of them? Even though they are striving, they do not perceive it. But the yogis who strive to perceive this dwelling in their heart, they get it. So what is the message you could get? What is the message you could get? Yes. When he says they are striving, what does it mean? He is talking of people who are in the spiritual field. He is not talking of those who are not seeking. So amongst the people who are, so majority of people are, what are they? Non-seekers. They are not interested in spirituality, nor they seek. They only are worshipping the world. They want success in the world. They want find happiness in the world, and they are eluded by their pursuits. Nobody is ever content with all the success. Nobody is ever happy with what he has got. That is yet another story. At some point of life, all of us have experienced that there is no contentment in materiality and sensuality. Any amount of material pursuit, any amount of external happiness is not going to give you contentment. We all have, we're not born Buddhas. So we all have become wiser through experience. So he's not talking of those people. He's talking of people who have realized the hollowness in the worldly pursuit and they've turned spiritual. Even they do not perceive this. This refers to the Atman, the self. They don't get to the goal. What is the implication? I'm first telling the other side of it, where I'm talking about the unrefined and the unintelligent. Then it's easy to understand the yogis. So what is the trademark of the unrefined and unintelligent? These are the people. They take to spiritual practice, they take to spiritual sadhana as an end in itself. They take to spiritual sadhana, they take to practices, perhaps firstly with an end in itself, also perhaps with a motive in it. They want to seek something out of it. Therefore, they only get what they seek, but they don't get the ultimate fruit. I don't know whether you're with me or you're lost. Are you all with me? You okay?
It's slightly not very clear, Guruji. Does it mean that there are two categories of spiritual seekers?
That's what the verse
Okay.
says.
Okay.
Two types of spiritual seekers. One are the yogis. The others are the unintelligent and the unrefined. They are the other categories. So two categories.
Okay.
But the interesting thing is, though they are striving, yatanta means they're striving.
Hmm. So if they are striving, why are they not able to, means at some stage will they realize, or they are just happy with that?
Na pashyanti. They
They
not
don't see.
pursue.
Okay.
They don't pursue. Because until you continue that path, you will meet the same end. You keep repeating the same mistake, you will get the same result. So it is important we understand what not to do than what to do.
Yeah.
So we should not repeat, we should not commit the errors of the unrefined and unintelligent. So what is a mistake? I said two things. One is they are practicing the various spiritual practices as an what is
sadhana also, or rituals or whatever.
Sadhana, rituals, practices. It could be even teaching this knowledge, jnanam, or doing seva or anything for that matter. They do it as an
with a motive.
No. First point is as an end in itself.
In itself. Okay.
What do you understand an end in itself?
Means they think that by just doing that, they will be able to achieve moksha. Is it?
Is that what it means?
Or they think that is the only thing to be done. They don't even think of the next step. Or
They are not able to understand this activity is a pipeline.
Mm.
You know, in your condominium, in the building that you're staying, water comes to your tap. The moment you open the tap, water comes. Why? Is the water there in the tap? No.
No.
There is a pipeline that is laid from
Yes.
the source of supply to your receiving end.
Yes.
So the job of the pipeline is to deliver the content from the overhead tanks or
Source.
wherever to your point of requirement. Right?
Yeah.
So if the point of tap is the end, the pipeline is only a means to bring it to you, right?
Yeah.
Imagine the water gets stuck in the pipe.
You will not get.
You will not get it. Is the purpose served?
No.
Not served. So all these spiritual practices are a pipeline.
Okay.
Pipeline for what?
But
To
the
take
knowledge.
you from where you are to the end, which is the goal, which is the moksha, enlightenment. So when he says that these people don't get to the end, they don't perceive this, the capital T, which is the Atman. What does it mean? They're all stuck in the pipe itself.
Right. Yeah.
Somewhere in the pipeline, they're stuck. They're choked. Something has got choked, they're stuck in it. So those who are doing seva are stuck to seva.
Okay.
Those who are doing bhakti are stuck to bhakti. They have got developed fanaticism. They say, my God, my goddess, my temple, my guru, my belief system, my knowledge, my this, my that. So they have developed a tremendous attachment to the practice itself. They are caught up in it itself.
Yes.
And because they're doing it as an end in itself, there's a great.
They don't. Yeah.
They find it as a great charm. They're lost in the charm of the practice.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. You can't say I have not finished.
No, at least to that point, it is clarified.
End in itself means where you only do it for itself. That's only thing. And you're stuck in it. Secondly, you said they have a
motive behind it.
They want to gain something out of that practice for their own self-benefit. You know, one of the beautiful terminologies I've learned over the years, what is worship? Worship or prayer is self-oblivious and non-utilitarian. True worship is self-oblivious and non-utilitarian. Okay, Oshama, you're good, right? I'll explain further.
Yes.
I'm trying to say this is the opposite of having a motive. Opposite of having a motive is self-oblivious and non-utilitarian. True worship has to have these two qualities. Now, can anybody explain what these two words mean? English words? Self-oblivious and non-utilitarian. आशमा प्लीज बोलिए, हिंदी में नहीं अंग्रेजी में बोलिए.
Pranam Guruji. Self-oblivious means हिंदी में बोलती हूँ कि आप भक्ति में रंग जाते हैं.
मैंने आपको प्रीकर्स में बोला, हिंदी में नहीं बोलना है आपको. नहीं बोलिए, प्लीज टेल अस.
कि आप उसी के रंग में रंग जाओ तो यू बिकम सेल्फ ओब्लिवियस. मतलब उसकी द सेल्फ, उसके रंग में रंग जाओ.
See, the word self is very important. Self is not capital S. It is small s. What does the word oblivious means? Forgetting.
I mean,
Forget.
forget yourself and
So
mold.
you have lost yourself.
Yeah,
Means
lost yourself.
you are not existing in that prayer
Yeah,
because you are lost in the Lord, right?
in the Lord. Yeah,
So self-oblivious means you don't exist as a worshipper.
right.
Ashama is worshipping in the prayer room. Ashama doesn't exist in the prayer room. Who's worshipping? Ashama is worshipping. Who is existing? Nobody's existing. Because when Asha, as an individual, prays, she is not wanting anything from the prayer. Self-oblivious, I don't exist. I have
Yeah.
no wants in that
Yeah.
prayer. And second, non-utilitarian means
No motive. No, that is what I understand.
absolutely. That's all. Perfect. So true prayer is you don't exist. You don't expect anything from that.
Yeah,
This is the quality of a yogi, as the verse says.
right.
So these two words are very powerful that paints a picture of what is true prayer or what is true worship. What is worship?
बिन मांगे मोती मिले, मांगे मिले न भीख.
हमें मोती भी नहीं चाहिए, आने दो मोती, आने दो, आएगा मोती
Moti
भी
means for
आएगा.
your whatever you are like. You get here. It is self. You realize the self. तो बिन मांगे मोती मिले, मांगे मिले न भीख. मांगने से भीख भी नहीं मिलती है.
So true. There is a flavor. अब जब बोलते हैं there is a flavor in it. मजा आता है. So nice. Thank you, ma. Very good. So now you get the point. The unrefined and the unintelligent are pursuing the spiritual practices as an end in itself, and they approach the practice with an ulterior motive. And these two qualities of the unrefined, what does it do? It creates avarana and vikshepa. The avarana is the ignorance of the self. They don't gain cognition of the self. Na pashyati. Avarana is ignorance. They still remain in ignorance. They don't get enlightened. And sadly so, because of their motive to the action, they develop vikshepa, is their mental agitations. Their mind is not pure. Their mind has not become cleansed from impurities. But because of these qualities or attributes, they don't get to the self. They don't realize the self. On the contrary, the yogis who strive, yatantaha, the word yatanta is they're constantly striving. They're very determined to get to the self. They are striving with no other interest. They perceive this dwelling in the self. That which I am seeking is very much within me. Why do I have to take a journey to see God or experience divinity? I don't understand this. Yet you may go out into the world to experience majesty, experience moments of miracle, but the real revealing, the realization of the self happens within me. So it may be triggered out there, but realization is within me. So that which is closest to you is the self. Like in English language, we say this and that. That suggests it is far away. This suggests which is very near to me. So that which is closest to me is myself. Closer than my own imperfections, closer than the impurities of my gunas, closer than the vasanas is my own self. This dwelling in the self, the yogis perceive it. You don't have to go anywhere to see the self. And why people go outward to see God? Because, in fact, they see the greater divinity outside than inside. They feel places are more holy outside than inside. They attribute more divinity to places outside than inside. If I mention something, you think I have against something. I have nothing against it. You take me to a place of worship, I'll come along with you. But what makes you believe that place is holier than the holy self within me? Why this perception? Oh, that place is vibrant with energy. Because every day 100,000 people go there? Just because that place is sanctified with Vedic chanting? Because great men visited that place? Is that the reason that place is more holier than the self within me? I don't know. I'm not saying that place is not holy, but why are the Shastras constantly telling us that is only realized within me? They don't say, please go to this pilgrimage. They don't say, please go to that vantage point. Please go to that point or where there's a greater aura, where the stars and planets meet, or that particular time, that particular place. They're not drawing you to a particular point. Yet everybody is searching outward there. Why? Why is it? Because you're not striving to seek it within you. The moment you strive and seek it in the right place, you will get it. If you go and search outward, you will find only that place more holier than thou. But there is no greater, holier place than thou. There is no greater divinity within than anywhere else. You have to search in the right place. You know, a month ago, we entered the institute hall. Suddenly there was a foul smell. What is this smell? Peculiar smell of something dead. You know? And then we realized that dead, some rat is dead. I told the caretakers, please put whatever effort to find that fellow. And they said they searched everywhere. It's not found. I said, you fellows are searching in the wrong place. I think it's coming from this place. And then they went and searched. The moment you search at the right place, they got it. Instantly, the smell gone. There's no more smell because you got to the source, no? I can put all the effort, and if I search in the wrong place, you'll not find it because that is not the source. So you got to understand the real divinity is only revealed within me. It cannot be experienced outside. Please understand this. It can be accentuated. It can be supported with your outward experiences, but it has to be triggered within me. Therefore, they always say the spiritual journey is an inward journey. So strive to seek inward. Even if you are striving, you're not consistently striving. You trust me, you do that swadhyaya, you do that reflection in the early hours, the Brahma Muhurtam, and you do it without fail consistently. If you don't see it, come and then tell me. Come and challenge me. What is being said? Come and challenge the Shastras. Ask yourself, in the last 1 year, how consistent have I been? How much percentage you give yourself for that, tapping that auspicious hour of the activity? You got to ask yourself, don't blame anybody. Don't blame the knowledge, don't blame the guru, don't blame the institution, don't blame anybody. Blame yourself for your lack of concerted effort. If you put in that concerted effort, you will perceive. There is no denying it. If you search at the right place, you'll find it. The question is, you're not searching in the right place. Or if you're searching in the wrong place. How will you find it? You will not find it. So this is the assurance you get from the Shastras. It's not pointing what you're doing wrong, rather telling you, please do the right thing. I'm not saying don't do what you're doing. Please do. Along with this, if you do this consistent search, you will get it. Very, very assuring, and also telling us, make your prayer self-oblivious, non-utilitarian. Don't contaminate it with your wants and demands. When you go into a prayer room, don't keep asking God for things. It's none of your business to ask him. Just thank the Lord for what he has given. I believe Venkatramji is coming for the first time. Is it so, sir? Sorry, missed acknowledging earlier. I hope you are able to follow the session.
Namaste. Actually, the first time for this Bhagavad Gita, but I attended one last week.
Of the Gita itself?
No, not the Gita. Upanishads.
Okay. I seeing you for the first time. Happy to have you. Hope it all will make sense ultimately. If there's anything, feel free to clarify, sir.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. How does ignorance or avidya create the sense of separation from Atman? The question Swamiyama is asking. How does the ignorance or avidya create sense of separation from Atman? Anybody answer the question? Not that I don't know the answer. I want you to attempt it. Not that I know. I can't think I know. Not that I don't know. Also want to acknowledge, I think Vittal Rajanji is joining us from Chennai. Sorry, I don't get to recognize or acknowledge people if I don't see them, because you would appreciate that when you see the person, I know whether you are someone familiar or glad you're able to join, sir.
Namaste. Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be here. My blessing. Thank you.
Most welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Sureshi. We're looking to answer Soumyama's question here. How does ignorance create separation from Atman?
You see, the allurements of the terrestrial world draw the body and mind and intellect so very compulsively that separateness from the Atman is taken as the truth. It is there in the scripture itself that the mind is helplessly drawn to the allurements of the world, the terrestrial world. And therefore that avidya. Because you have to transcend the mind, body, intellect, equipment. And only then, you can be on the path to self-realization.
So if I can ask you, what is your definition of ignorance here?
Ignorance is ignorance of the ultimate truth, the reality of Atman, the importance of emptying your mind and with focus dwelling on the higher truth.
Sir, what is the ignorance, sir? Can you please give me the definition of your ignorance?
Ignorance is avidya, or lack of knowledge of the ultimate knowledge, which is knowledge of the Atman.
Sir, you are only expanding the word ignorance. But I want and I wish you can throw light on how does that avidya separate me from myself?
Because
the question is, How does avidya create a sense of separation? So what is the expression of avidya or ignorance of the self in me that separates me from the Atman within me? So what is its expression?
Identification with the terrestrial equipment.
That's how you started, by identification with body, mind, intellect. So therefore, if I were to conclude that you are saying ignorance is identification with body, mind, intellect, right?
And concluding that that is the truth, which is why you have a transactional relationship with the divine.
All right. I would not say right or wrong. I'll take your answer. Seduji. Uday Shankar is commenting ignorance is having more knowledge. So I don't know why are you, then I don't know what are we doing in the classroom. We're all trying to gain knowledge, right? Seduji, just a moment, sir. Udayji is saying ignorance is, unless you're trying to clarify something else or you're mistyped it. The more knowledge you have, to that extent, the ignorance gets dispelled, right? So that's how it should be. Okay. Seduji, yes, sir.
Guruji, ignorance is because vasanas are the expressions of ignorance. Vasanas leads to thought, thought leads to desire. Desire makes us to go into action to seek the world. Avidya is nothing but vasanas.
Avidya is nothing but vasanas. Perfect. This is how you should be able to get the technical word for avidya. In the Shastras, avidya is vasanas. So what separates man from God is the vasanas. And vasanas manifests as your own desires and thoughts. As Sidhuji said, then as Suresh said, you're running into the world. You're running into the world because of your vasanas and desires. So what separates man from God is vasanas. Therefore, we say man minus vasanas equals God. So the ignorance or avidya, synonym, philosophical synonym, please understand this, philosophical synonym for avidya is vasanas. So what separates you from your Godhead right within you is the vasanas. And interestingly, vasanas are the closest to the Atman. The closest thing to the Atman is vasanas. Like when we talk of the 5 sheets we spoke other day, not long ago we spoke of the 5 sheets. The innermost sheet which covers the Atman is known as Anandamaya Kosha. Anandamaya Kosha means the bliss sheath or the sheath of ignorance, which is the vasanas. Anandamaya Kosha is nothing but bliss sheath. It also means vasanas. All mean one and the same. If you don't understand, some of you, don't worry. But all you must understand here is vasanas is that which is blocking me and separating me from the self. So vasanas is synonym of avidya. So as you spiritually grow, the vasanas get dropped away. You start losing the quality of the vasanas. The gross vasanas drop. You pick up subtle vasanas. You pick up refined vasanas. And ultimately they also go until what remains is the self. Therefore, man minus vasanas equals God. I suppose that answers the question. And good Shantima has rightly said so. Ignorance is the avarana veiling and blocking the self, like the clouds hides the sun. Gayatri Ma has become very poetic today. Ignorance is vasana desires. Perfect. And where did the clouds come from, Gayatri Ma? What is responsible for the clouds? In Atma Bodha, Adi Shankaracharya talks of it.
The clouds are created through the sun from the water which evaporates and creates and then it falls there.
And what does the cloud do?
It blocks the very sun itself.
Nada, you are born because of me. I have created you, and the puff of clouds come and block the sun. What audacity this cloud of a passing and a passing breeze can push the cloud away and the sun again shines. What is the size of the sun to the size of the cloud, and yet the size of that little puff of vapor blurs the sun, covers the sun. So just like, and the example is right here. As we say, the ignorance is born from the self, and this ignorance has the audacity to block the self. What is the characteristic of ignorance compared to the grandeur of the Atman? Yet this vasanas and desires blocks the Atman. अरे मजाक है क्या ये? What is this? मजाक कर रहे हैं क्या? It should not happen, yet it is happening. That's the sad reality of it. Perfect. So the yogis who seek will perceive the unrefined, even though they're striving, they're not seeking it. Because they have a motive and they have an end in itself. Whereas the opposite of the yogis, whatever they are doing, they're using it as a means to an end. They don't want to get stuck in the pipeline. When I spoke to Oshama, I said, pipeline. All these paths, all these practices are a means to get me to the end. It's like you get into a tunnel only to get out of a tunnel. There's no way to me to go in my journey further, pass through that tunnel. And these tunnels are built in these mountainous areas where you have no way but to go through that mountain. You go through the tunnel, not to get stuck in the tunnel, isn't it? You pass through that and you move on. So these paths should be pursued. Spirituality should be approached as a means to an end and not an end in itself. Welcome. Right, Kachima. Gayatrima, we don't hear you nor see the screen. We don't see what you're sharing as well.
Hari Om. Wisdom Institute is celebrating the fourth.
Hold on, we don't see the screen, ma. Unless others see it, I don't know.
It's showing it, Guruji. So I'm sharing it.
No, I don't see it. No, none of us are seeing it. And go a little slow.
Now you are able to see?
No.
Able to see now?
No, ma. There's some technical issue. No problem. Maybe you can just share the information and we can, obviously they have received through the other channels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wisdom.
Stop sharing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wisdom Institute is celebrating its 4th anniversary on the 5th of April. The function starts at 8 a.m. with Ganapati Homam, followed by breakfast, and then by a music concert by Vidwan Mr. Ramanamurthy. Then the function will be talk by Guruji at 12 noon, and the function will end by 12:30. I request all the participants and the Sishyas to please do attend on the 5th April at 8 a.m.
It's an annual event that we celebrate an auspicious occasion where we do the Yajna Homam. So please be a part of this auspicious celebration and be there with us in person. not only in spirit, be in person. Look forward. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.